Now, who would have thought a disaster movie would have been just the right thing I needed in the middle of a pandemic? Hey everyone, it's Sharona from Pair Weight, and today I'm going to be reviewing Greenland, which is now available on VOD. This film is directed by Rick Roman Wall, who you know from directing 2019's Angel Has Fallen, which also starred Gerard Butler, who is also starring in this film as John Garrity. As him and his family, they struggle for survival in the face of a cataclysmic natural disaster. You guys, we have a disaster movie in 2020 in the middle of a pandemic, and I didn't know that it was something that I would actually need at this point in time. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I'll tell you what I enjoyed about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and should you spend your coins or not renting this on VOD? Because I don't know about you, I got some coins, but they need protecting. Just a little bit of coins, not a lot of coins, but they need protecting. I need to make sure I'm spending my money on something that is worth it. But going into what I enjoy about Greenland is, it's not your typical disaster movie. Well, technically it is your typical disaster movie, but they view it through a different lens. And in this case, it's through the lens of humanity. Most of the times when we have disaster flicks, where usually all of the humans come and band together to fight against this entity or whatever it is that's trying to destroy the world. But in this case, as we're watching the Garrity's family try to fight for survival, I love that they show how, you know, when you know that you only have 48 hours to live, what that can do to your morals, how low you will go in order to make sure not only you, but your family will survive. And as we see the family as they get separated in different parts of the course of the film, we see the dangers of really trying to trust in others, trust in humans, hope that people are still trying to do good, even though they know that their life can be over as you know it. We see the complexities behind that. We see, as we see the Garrity family, they get separated in the course of the film, they're put into some couple of dangerous positions. Now, some of these decisions were very stupid, and I will get into that into the cons of the film, but for the most part, because they were getting into a little messiness with these crazy people, it kept me, I was entertained for them, I was really entertained for the entire film. But also, too, what I would have to say is I love Gerard Butler. People, you know what, y'all need to start putting some respect on Gerard Butler's name. I know that people might not always agree with the film choices that he makes, but these last couple of films that he has come out with, they have been pretty entertaining, and this is the same for Greenland. I love that his character is really supposed to be an architect, but he still feels like an action hero at the same time, but still feels believable as a dad that might not necessarily know how to protect his family. I just think that it works for him, and I love what he brings. I love what he brings to this film. Now, also, too, what I will say is that even though we see the disaster is coming, I love that the movie does not take the time to focus on the science behind it. Typically we have there's always another team that's working, trying to prevent this disaster from happening, but that's not the case. Really the disaster takes a back seat to what is happening to the Garrity family. Now, for the most part, this works throughout the course of the film, but as we get into a little bit of the cons that I have with the film as a whole, I do feel like we needed a little bit more of the disaster, or really the repercussions of it. We needed to see more of that. But I do like that they don't try to divide our time between too many characters throughout the course of this film. This is really the Garrity family's this is their film, and I love that they really cut to the chase in the beginning of the movie. Typically, we have to go through some family life, and we do that maybe for a couple of minutes, but because this movie is a 2-hour runtime, they really cut to the chase, and I appreciate that because all movies don't have to be long, but they can if you can keep my attention, and this is what Greenland did. Now, even though I had a lot of things that I did enjoy about Greenland, I think the biggest issue for me is I wanted to see more of the disaster happening to the Garrity family. Now, even though this focuses on the humanity aspect of the dangers that other humans, as the Garrity family comes in contact with different people along the course of their journey to safety, I wanted to see more of the actual disaster happening. I wanted to see more of the effects as we're seeing these comics are coming and exploding, destroying cities, destroying people. There was one cool scene that happened kind of towards between the second and the third act of the film that was interesting, but I just wanted to see a little bit more of that throughout the course of the film to really help raise the stakes. Not only are you fighting against these crazy people in the world trying to protect themselves and their family by any means necessary, but also too, you're still fighting against nature itself. Now, there are some dumb decisions that the family starts to make in the second half of the film, and I was just like, But why did we make this decision? Why did you think it was okay to do some of these things? Like, I just didn't understand it. I know my phone is like doing its own thing right now. I can't really tell you some of these horrible decisions that the characters make in the film, but once you watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, so let me get this straight. So if you were one of the only people in the world that had this, you were just going to flaunt this around like no one was going to try to take it from you. That's not a spoiler because you have no idea what I'm talking about because you haven't seen it yet. But I was just like, guys, like, that's common sense right there. Do better, okay? Do better in your next disaster of your life because that wasn't it. Now, overall for me, those were really the only two main things that I had an issue with in Greenland. I had a really great time with this disaster flick. It gave me an escape from reality that I so desperately needed. It gave me some good action for the most part, minus the missing pieces or elements of the disaster that I wanted to see. But what I would tell you guys to do with you and your coins for Greenland, I would tell you to pay to see this on VOD. I think it's definitely worth it. Let me know in the comment section below if you've already seen Greenland. Sharana, I loved it. Sharana, I hate it. Or you know what? It was okay. It's not like a masterpiece, but it got me through the day because that's all that I needed when I watched it yesterday. I'm starting to lose my voice, y'all. I'm going through it. I'm still sick. But those are my thoughts on Greenland. As always, my name is Sharana from Pay Your Weight. If you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.